Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. Today we are looking at Camptown Racetrack, a game of speed and thrills. Now I believe this is a reprint of a retro game. A lot of the games from the olden times, as it were, are kind of looked at now with some disdain, but some of them are actually pretty fun, even though they were incredibly simplistic. So here we have this one. And I got this at a Kohl's, and it was reasonably priced. I can't complain too much. There's nothing really on the back other than a price sticker and a shipping label. This was distributed in the United States by Perisphere and Trylon. Made in China, though. Otherwise, it's just like a barcode. So it's just sealed shut with these little plastic tab things. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what it looks like inside. Now this is a horse racing game, obviously. Alright, so there's our instructions on the lid. It's a piece of paper glued on. It's not even printed on there. The box quality is fairly poor, so you'll want to be kind of careful with that. Alright, so here we've got parts of our racetrack. There's an old-timey spinner, and our movement pieces, and our actual racetrack. It's really not a lot to it. This racetrack folds in half. Let's get these out of the way. And it's basically just a large loop. And you'll start here and go around to be the winner. And it's nicely cut. This is actually pretty thick. The design is simple. I thought it would be an actual board, like a regular square board, but it's actually cut in a racetrack shape, which is kind of cool. The downside is it means that the seal joints aren't going to be as sturdy because there's nothing, it's just a smaller area covering, so there's not as much area to distribute weight and stress. And it is just really cardstock, like a really thick cardboard box. It's nice quality, and the gloss on here is really good, but I'd be a little worried about it getting wet more than anything. There'll be some flexing over time too, as we can see with the spinner. It's got a little bit of a bend to it. And this is an old style spinner that's just stuck on the top. There's nothing on the bottom holding it there. So the plastic is actually modern plastic, which is good because the plastic from the time would have been garbage. But it does have the same spin quality as a lot of those older ones, where you got to flick it kind of hard to get it to move. And it's just a 1 through 6 spinner. You can find replacement spinners that are generic looking. This actually has some flair to it. There is some discoloration from the inking process, which I don't like, but it's got these nice little doily shaped thingies on there. Give it a little bit more of an old-timey flair. And let's see what else we got here. These look like just some track pieces. And let's look at our actual guys. Alright, so these are cardstock cutouts. They're fairly thin, and they're on a little wooden piece with a slot drilled in them. So they're not plastic, it's all wooden and cardboard. And you've got different colors, and they're numbered. We got yellow and blue. We have 2 of each color. So we have 2 yellow, number 2 and number 5. Number 1 and 4 are blue, and 3 and 6 are tan. These are fairly fragile, actually. These are effectively thin cardstock, it's kind of mid-range cardstock. It's definitely able to be creased if you're not careful. You could bend these very easily. The color's pretty vibrant. The drawings are very simplistic, gives it a real feel for the time, has a real 1920s look to it. Let me see if it's got any information on here. Yeah, the instructions tell you to throw dice, but there are no dice included, just the spinner. So it really is designed in a weird way, because they tell you something different than what you get in the box, which is probably the way it originally came. Okay, so yeah, there's 6 numbered horses. These are hurdles that they're supposed to be able to jump over. And you get a spinner instead of dice. Even though the instructions talk about dice, there's actually spinners. So yeah, it's kind of a cool little retro thing, because finding the original intact would probably cost you a couple $100 to find one of these actual vintage type games. So, and it's going to be in really poor shape just due to age. But there's no instruction or no information on if this is an actual reprint or just a modern interpretation of an old game. So I'd be willing to bet that this is a reprint of a much older game. I know I've seen games like this before that were very old, and they are very, very expensive to find, like I said. And especially finding them complete, like these hurdles would be destroyed fairly quickly. The box is going to be beat up. There's a lot of these old type games out there. I know there's a Ludo one and some others that I'm going to try and track down. But a lot of these are actually pretty fun to play, especially with younger people. There's no age demographic listed here, but I'd be willing to bet that 6 or 7 year olds probably could handle this just fine. And it really is more of a random chance thing, you know, based on what you spin. And it's a great way to kill a couple of minutes with your friends and try something different. So racetrack games, you know, you're not actually playing for any money, just like a real racetrack. So you won't be out anything, and you're probably not committing any kind of religious atrocity by playing this. So, but it is a nice quality set. It is really kind of cute in a way. It's retro cool. If you're into retro stuff or real simplistic games, this would be a good one to pick up. If you know some kids that like horses or easy board games, this is good for the normies. Probably hardcore gamers that want to play Zombicide or something, probably not going to have as much fun. But if you're looking to sit down and play just a standard board game to kill a few minutes, this is a pretty neat little set. And I kind of like the retro look of it. It gives it kind of that, makes you appreciate the modern design techniques and piece modeling and the quality of the plastic of modern stuff, because this is all cardboard. The only plastic thing in there is the spinner, the actual needle on the spinner, and you got to be thankful for that, because if that was cardboard, it would be total garbage. But yeah, fun little game. It's very easy to play. There's nothing particularly nasty about it. It's a nice, simple game, and you can find it at a major retailer. I found this at Kohl's, like I said. I think I paid $12 for it, but that's a little more than I actually am a little comfortable with for taking a chance on a retro game, especially. But I'll play it. Looks neat. I'll probably play it with my nephew or somebody, and anytime I go somewhere where there's gonna be some kids, probably take this so they can have something to play. Christmas, Thanksgiving, that sort of thing. It's nice to have something for the kids to play, especially something they've never played before, and get them off the electronics for a few minutes. But that'll do it for this episode. I like this. I think it's worth checking out. But that'll do it for me. As always, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel, and we hope to see you on the next episode of What's Inside.